The second is empathy, right? The myth behind empathy is that, one, empathy means agreeing with other people. You think you being a leader and saying yes, yes, yes to everything, you're empathizing with them. No, doesn't mean that. It means you need to understand the people and what they are saying. The second myth is that I can't empathize if I've not experienced something. You think for you to be able to empathize, you need to have experienced the thing for you to be able to feel the thing. But no, you don't need to. Learning and listening and understanding makes the difference. The third is showing empathy makes me vulnerable. Hey, if I'm to cry in public, they won't take me serious. No, it simply means that you've put on the other person's shoes. You're feeling the way they're feeling. You're thinking the way they're thinking. You're undergoing the same experience of which they're going through. And to understand empathy, I'll give you a book still. Go out and read Raina Brown's book. It's The Gift of Imperfection. In this book, her take home is, we are all inadequate. I fall short, you fall short, 8.0 billion fall short. But if you're able to understand my shortfalls, my imperfection will become perfect. Because I'll know I cannot do what Pastor talked about, the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Why isn't it a 100-20 rule? 80 simply means the 20% we all don't have. So if you enter relationships thinking she's going to, you're going to the drain because she's also inadequate. As a leader, you need to understand the people you're in charge of, their weaknesses, and know that, okay, he cannot do this, but I can help him become. Because even you as their leader, you have your pitfalls, the things you do not do, and the things you do not know. So how do we build empathy? Empathy is a skill, ladies and gentlemen. We learn, we grow it, and we cultivate it. The first thing is you need to listen. Listening as though you've heard is not hearing. Many of us are too loud that people don't hear what we say or don't even understand what we say. We want to talk and talk and talk, and we think the more you talk, the more people are listening. Definitely not. So you need to listen. Listen simply means keep quiet. Let everybody praise. Have you ever been listening to somebody and you interject, and all of a sudden the thing you are going to say is what they say? But I was going to tell you this. Yes? That's when you don't listen. So listening gives you the laissez-faire or the leverage of understanding every person's input. And you go back and ask yourself, where do they fit in? You should read Nelson Mandela, Walk to Freedom. He talks about the father, how he was a very good listener. And I think he picked up from there. Because people leave clues. We expose ourselves when we talk. But the question is, are you willing to listen of what I've exposed? The other is to acknowledge. If I come to you and I tell you, you know what, I'm angry because of this and this and this. Check. You said you're angry because of this and this. You as a leader, are you checking? Or you're rushing to conclude before you understand? The other is ask for clarity where you don't understand. Clarity is everything. It helps you make decisions. If somebody says, I do not like you, ask them, you don't like me generally, or there are parts of me that you don't like? Right? You've heard people saying, I don't like that guy. But why? There is an aspect of him that you do not like. But are there aspects of him that you like, that we can leverage on? Definitely yes. So clarity gives you the understanding of who that person is and helping them become better and better. The fourth is the social skills. I told you, human beings, we love to be seen, be understood, and be heard. But for who? During COVID, the athletes did not perform to their best of their abilities. There's a lot of literature. Do you know why? We did not have people in the audience. However much they tried to put those screens, they were not performing to their best of their abilities because we are social creatures. Many of us will dress up and you're like, how will they look at me? Huh? So they influence who you are. But we are saying social skills are skills that help us to commune as human beings because we are social creatures. But the misconceptions are that conflict or leadership is left for those that are born in that side. There's that notion of whether leaders are born or they are made. The answer lies where? They are made. You put in the work, you put in the energy, you put in the effort. The other is that social skills are about speaking well, eloquency. Because we said communication is all about being silent, but I don't tell you to just keep quiet. Have you researched? Do you have information? Do you have data? Are you able to justify? And you do not need a whole hour to justify something. Albert Einstein said, if you cannot explain it simple enough to a child, you don't understand it. Don't apply the theories and philosophers and jargons. Break it down to understand. The other is some people are just naturally good at resolve. No. Habituality. Put in the effort, put in the work. But how do we promote our social skills? One, the word I. The lawyers know it better. They say, Your Highness or Your Honor, my Lord, in my opinion, the word is I. Or I am thinking. I feel. So nobody gets the other accountable other than yourself. No, somebody cannot come and start criticizing what you think. That's your thought, not so. But if you say we, they'll ask you and who. Conflict. The other is listening. I've talked about it. I won't go back into it. Then we have collaboration. You cannot work alone. As a leader, you need partners. You need people that will help you become better. You need to specialize or you need to collaborate, but you collaborate basing on every person's ability. Because the strength of a team, the strength of a leader is each person's ability on his team. If you come and you become the mole, the whole team will become a mole. You've heard of the Great Wall of China, how it fell down. One person. So you as the leader, you need to understand each person's ability that you're in charge of and place them at the best of their abilities. And all you do is the other is understanding. We have talked about understanding. Understanding simply means you come down and get to know what everybody does and how best they do it. And finally, the last one is decision making. How do we make decisions? Who's determining which direction to take? If I'm here, you'll ask me which is the direction from Gulu to Kampala. Maybe I'll say it's the west. But if I go to Kampala, will it still be in the west? Yourself, you are the center who is supposed to determine which direction you are going to. The misconceptions that when you make quick decisions, they are better. No, they are not. Maybe you're reacting according to your impulses. You're reacting according to, whatever is happening. You want to make quick decisions, but at the end of the day, they may not be the best, and the best alternative there is. The second is more information always leads to better decisions. Never. However, it doesn't matter how much information you have. What matters is, have you understood? Are you able to read between the lines? There were so many physicists by then, during Newton's time, who were there living and trying to become physicists. They had the information, they had the data, they had the knowledge. But nobody came to understand the principle of gravity. It's until Newton was seated under an apple tree. I don't know why they think it's an apple tree always. And the apple fell, and the rest was history. He started asking himself, why does the apple fall and the moon and the sun do not fall? And we saw the principle of gravity coming into play. Why? Information alone is not powerful. It is the understanding and reading between the lines of that information that will make you a better leader. There is so much going on social media. We shall have a session on social media and internet. How are you diffusing it? Are you just copying and pasting? You know those messages they send in your group? Send to 5 people and you'll get blessings. You as a leader, are you just forwarding? Reading between the lines. The other is leaders should make decisions. You cannot make a decision you're alone. How many? I'm a Christian. We know the founding father and the only way did not do it alone. How many did he have? 12. But even within the 12, he had his inner circle. 3. Why? Accountability. So you cannot make it alone in life. You need people to be accountable to. So how can we build that that analogy, how can we effectively make right decisions as leaders? The first thing is you need to gather diverse perspectives. This is what Nelson Mandela's dad had understood. When you enter these meetings, when you enter these conferences, when you're having these conversations, are you able to give each and every person an opportunity? I'm so happy the guild president is here. When you're sitting with your cabinet, listen, they'll tell you a lot because they are everywhere and you may not be everywhere. So they'll give you the information. So listen to them and that will help you come to a better decision. The second, in gathering diverse perspectives, read, research. The only place I'm sure of that learning stops is in your graveyard. That's when you're guaranteed of not learning no more. But as long as you're living, make sure you learn each and every day. But the question is, about what? It goes back to what do you love? What is your passion? What problem do you want to solve? Then gather information to guide your decisions. The other is you need to evaluate the data. There are people who will submit based on their emotions. Right? There are people who will submit based on what is. Just basing on what is there. But you as a leader, you need to diffuse. Is this person submitting because of the emotions? Are they being attached? You know that principle of impartiality? It falls there. Finally, think in long term. What is the bigger picture? Now, you as a leader, what is your big? Are you looking at the market complete and finished? Or you're looking at it as just mixing sand and cement? So having a bigger picture helps you build that of which you want to attain and achieve in life. I'll leave you with a book. I think I didn't put it here. It's Thinking Fast and Slow. It's by Daniel something. I'm forgetting the author. It's Thinking Fast and Slow. It helps you on how to manage, on how to make decisions, and even on how to delegate as a leader. Delegation is a skill. How do you use it? What criteria do you use to delegate? And the fifth is motivation. It takes us somewhere but leaves us everywhere. Some of you might have come for this training because you want the certificates. We know. Some might have come because, I want to mention it. They call it logistics. Yes, but we know that motivation takes us but leaves us somewhere. So some of the misconceptions about motivation is that it can be achieved instantly. If I'm motivated, then I will do. No, a short distance. It's not true. The other is that motivation depends on the others. Are we together? Can we move together? These people who've been demonstrating on the streets, they get there and they're like, who's there? But still, we can come together, but as we move, we keep breaking away. By the time you turn, you're all alone and you're like, shit, what am I doing? It's a myth. The other is motivation fades away. As I've earlier said, it takes you for a short distance. But then, how can we be motivated for us to build that market that we want to do? The first thing is set intentions. What are your intentions? What do you want to do? Look at the bigger picture. What is the goal, the mission, the objective? What do you want to achieve? The second is gratitude is attitude. Somebody was saying that iPhone 16 is coming out very soon. But I hear it's already fully sold out. Why? Why is it a person with an iPhone 14 wants an iPhone 15 and wants an iPhone 16? What is there that you're always running after? We have become like dogs, But you're not dogs, but take it as a metaphor. You know, have you ever seen a dog running after its tail? Does it ever catch it? It keeps. It's until it stops and gets on its belly or on its knees that it's able to. Now, we need to be grateful for what we have. Use what you have to get what you want to become. Somebody once told me, and I'll never forget this. He said, Gardner, you want to start an academy. I have an academy. It's an online academy. It's called Conscious Awareness and Mind Growth Academy. We teach most of these things. He said, you are there looking for land, looking for what, you want to blah, blah, blah. Me, when I was starting, because he has a school today, I did not have what you had. For you have the knowledge, you have the skill, you have the expertise. Me, I did not. The only thing I thought was, how can I start a school? Now, for you already looking for these basics that I did not have to start, why don't you start with what you have? And this has helped me. So you as a leader, what do you have? What do you have in your toolbox to take you to where you want to be? It's a question that you need to ask yourself each and every day. The other is celebrate small wins. Don't wait for December to go to church. Christmas, Some of us only wait for Christmas to go to church or for Sunday. Celebrate small wins. Every time something good happens, stop and pat yourself on the chest and say, yes, I've made it. This is me. Right? Because that's what gives you motivation and that's what keeps you going. Now that is gone, you look for another thing. But you cannot do it unless you have the intentions. Every mother looks at their child as somebody walking. Even when they cannot, as a baby, you don't even crawl, you're just standing on the bed. But the mother won't see you that you're just standing. She'll be like, this boy or this girl will walk. Intentions. Michelle Obama, go out read this book. It's called Becoming. In that book, she talks about Becoming by Michelle Obama. She talks about that after every hill, there is a hill. After every circle, there is a circle. Every success, there is another success that you desire. They thought getting into the Senate was the only thing. When they got there, Obama was like, no, I have to look for better things. He set an intention, I want to become a president. Even today, when he became a president now, he has other intentions. What is your intention? But he had to take small steps to get where he was. And finally, celebrate small wins, as I've said. There is another famous book by His Holiness Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Lasting Happiness in This Changing World. We're talking about fulfillment. We're talking about being seen, being understood, and being heard. How have these great men, they put down the mysteries of what helped them to be. And as a leader, I think you should go out and live. Finally, what I've talked about is how do we apply emotional intelligence in transformative leadership. I've talked about the 3 things in your toolkit. 1, you need to understand your brain. 56 thoughts. 2, you need to understand your emotions. 34 thoughts. Then you need to understand your body, your identity. How do these come together to leverage on your happiness and well-being? Yes. Finally, I want to tell you that every time you get up in the morning, look at this world as your dashboard of your car. Imagine you wake up in the morning and go open that door and sit and ignite. And all you see on the dashboard, engine check, red. Tire balance, red. Lights, red. Everything there is red. Will you be able to take that car for the voyage you want to take? Will you? Why? It's not in good conditions. So it may not get you to your destination. Emotional intelligence helps you to understand the reds on your dashboard. Not only understanding, getting to know what does this red mean to me. And then it helps you to get to know who is the best service provider. Who is able to help me manage, understand, and relate. It is until you manage, understand, and control the things on your dashboard that you are able to live happy and fulfilled. But not only living happy and fulfilled, you will be seen, be understood. Thank you so much.
Empowering mind.